Alrighty, what is going on, my fellow Marvel Rivals gamers? It's your boy, Coach Apxche, and today we're going to be doing a Loki VOD review. My favorite support in the game, which is, it's cool. We're finally getting to do a VOD review for Loki, right? So, with that being said, we're going to talk a little bit about the abilities and things like that, right? So, for those of you who don't know, Hela and Loki have a team up. That team up is going to allow Loki to either gain shields or be revived when Hela gets a final blow on an enemy, right? Is right click. This is going to be your shadow step, I'll call it, or your invis. This will drop a clone at the location you're at while you can move around. While you're in your invisibility, you also heal. So if you ever needed a quick heal and needed to reposition, bang. That's a thing. But be careful because that's one of your escapes. Your shift is going to be your immortality field, right? Or your runes or your rocks, whatever. And then we'll make a joke about that a little bit later, probably. But that's going to be used to, keep teammates alive. You can use it to counter ults. You can use it to counter strong abilities, or you can use it to just keep your team alive if they're near death, right? So what that is basically you activate it, and whatever clones are on the field, as well as you, are going to spawn a stone over your head and an AOE, a green AOE, which is going to heal your teammates and convert all incoming damage into healing unless those stones are broken, right? And then your E is going to be your clones, right? You can put out the two clones, so you can have two clones and yourself. They will all shoot at what you are shooting at. So if you're shooting a teammate, it'll shoot your teammate. Shooting an enemy, it'll be shooting at your enemy. Obviously, if there's things in the way, they could be blocked. But so basically, you can have three of you shooting at something, and the damage is not dampened at all. So it's quite literally three of you shooting at something, which is pretty strong. And then your F is going to be your swap place. Basically, you can swap places with a clone, whatever clone you look at, as long as you're within range, you can swap to it. Be mindful that if you are out of range of a clone, or sometimes it just happens, if you click it too fast, you can accidentally not go anywhere if there's one close to you. So you got to be careful. Make sure that you see that indicator before you press that teleport button. Now, for the final ability, Loki's ult. Loki's ult is basically you're copying somebody's ultimate. So you can copy any ultimate on your team or the enemies. So when you play Loki, 9 times out of 10, you want to have someone on your team that has an ultimate worth copying. So in this case, it's going to be 9 times out of 10 your Invisible Woman, right? Sue Storm, and because that's a defensive ult. The thing is though, when it comes to using your ultimate, right? Your Sue is going to use her ultimate reactively, right? So if we look at the enemy team, we see a Groot, right? We see a Namor, we see Storm, we see Star-Lord. These are all ultimates that your Sue Storm will try to react to. So, with that being said, if the Groot ults your team, your Invisible Woman might just ult so that you can survive. As a Loki player, you can be quite certain that after that ultimate drops, they're probably going to use another one. So you would want to position yourself in a way to where you can easily copy your Sue, so that when those other ults come out, you can now ult again, right? So basically, you'll have two of her ults, or copy the cloak. Things like that. Obviously, you don't want to ult too early because they can kind of hold it out and wait till you're done. But also keep in mind, your ult has like a 12-second timer. Depending on who you are, you can extend that timer. Sometimes what I like to do is if I know that they need to ult, but I don't want to ult right away, we'll use Sue as an example. I'll switch to Sue. I'll use her kit. I'll heal, heal, heal. And then right before my ultimate's about to end, if they haven't used anything to make me ult, I'll just pop it anyways, and then that'll allow me to stay Sue for longer, as well as I get that ultimate still. So it doesn't always have to be, in a sense, something that has to always respond to an ult. Sometimes you can just use it to keep your team alive while your other support is still building up their ult, which will allow them to react to another ult. So react to this. You pop that. They know that you're that. They're going to wait it out. You pop it. So for about like 24 seconds, they're not ulting. By that time, maybe your Sue's closer and maybe can react to another ult, right? Who's to say they can or cannot? Without further ado, we're gonna get into the VOD. Just looking at your team comp real quick. Good ults that you can copy. Hela's a good ult. Sue's a good ult, and maybe even the Magneto. But I would say the other ones are kind of iffy, so I wouldn't copy them. On the enemy team, Sue, Groot can be a good ult. Cloak is a phenomenal ult, and hey, even the Storm or Star-Lord. These can all be good ults, but usually you want to stick to defensive ults because those are the safest options. So let's go. So when it comes to your comp, you are going to have the most range when it comes to healing. So you want to make sure that whoever's farthest from your team is kind of who you prioritize healing, since your Invisible Woman should be healing the tanks and anything that's close to her. Okay. You know somebody's above you? Yeah. I definitely think that immortality field was a little was a little too early. I don't think your Magneto would have died there. I think you could have sustained him, and it's his job to kind of mitigate damage and stuff like that. So I wouldn't have popped it just yet. I think it's way too early for him to have died. So yeah, you gotta keep in mind because that is a really important cooldown. And we do end up losing the Thor because you keep turning around. So here's the thing, right? We know that there's somebody above us, right? I'm not sure if you're in comms or not, right? But there's two things. Either you can ignore it and walk forward, which is dangerous, or you can contest it. If I were you and I really wanted to contest it, I would talk to my Hela. Hey, do you want to contest this? And if she says yes, you can throw a clone up there and you can teleport to it. Your Hela can fly up, and then you can fight this guy. You can use your immortality field that way. Which I think is actually a really good use because if you can get that elimination, then you get you trading an ability for an elimination, and hey man, that's big. So I would say don't be afraid to contest people too as Loki, because if no one's gonna do it, somebody has to do it. And if you can be immortal while doing it, why not, right? All right. So now you're about to have your ultimate. Looking at our teammates are not gonna have an ult. They do not have a Magneto, so you quite literally could copy one of your supports and just use that ultimate to engage here. So you got 94. So I'd get my ult. So right now, I'd get ult. I'd copy my Sue, and then I'm ulting forward. Copy. I like to use that, but I would just copy now. Right. Your Sue's gonna barely get ult, and she's gonna react once she gets it. Storm never gonna pop her ult. Storm's ult must have got canceled. Interesting. But yeah, so you guys are just fighting, and now you have two support ults, and you're not going to use them. Your Sue, like I said, is probably going to be reactionary with her ult, so she probably won't ever use her ult. So what I would say is I would definitely copy her and just use it aggressively. We lost this fight, so we're going to reset here. For this next fight here, I really would like you to use it aggressively. Another option you can have now that you have a Moon Knight is you could try to get into a good position here instead of hard healing. Let your team know. And then when Moon Knight gets his ult, which he should get it pretty fast into a Groot, once he has it, you can copy the Groot, use the Groot ult, and he can combo with you, which could end up in a team wipe depending on how you land it. Okay, you copied Sue. I would just ult. You might. Nice. Make sure you stay in your ult. Oh. I wouldn't leave your ult there. Just stay in your ult. But now your Sue should ult now? Nice. Good job. So I would just say that this process could have been done a lot earlier. And the issue with it not being done earlier is you've lost a lot of time, right? You could have won a lot faster and made progress a lot faster. Alrighty. So I would just go to high ground now and just start spamming for my next ult. I prefer to always have ult. And then if you're gonna spam at anything, preferably if you can hit supports, that's cool. Because they're gonna get less ult charge from healing each other than they will from healing a tank. Plus it'll pull attention away from the tank. Yada yada. But we're healing right now. We're healing. Oof. Gotta be careful. The second I heard that wail, I got a little worried. Oh. I'd probably get out of that ult, yeah. So one thing I like about Loki is that your ability to be very deceptively aggressive. So a lot of times people will like throw clones and teleport to them. Another thing you can do is like throw a clone that you know is will be safe for you, and then use your invis to get into like a weird spot, like for example coming up here and playing up here, right? And you can just be invisible, right? And as long as you have a clone that you know you can get to, right? Once they walk by before the fight starts, you can pop another clone, right? Shoot, 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 shoot. Maybe try to get a pick. If you can't, you can teleport out, right? And if you can, that's a pick, right? So being deceptively aggressive is really nice on Loki because you can do a lot of sneaky things as the god of mischief. Nice. Oh, here, Sue ulted. Okay, but then before your end is, I want to see that ult. Ult, 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 ult. Nice. Not bad, not bad. Pull him in. Nice. I am Groot. So right here, like these are moments that you can like be sneaky, right? So you're guaranteed to win this checkpoint. You jump on the cart, use your invisibility. It's gonna throw a clone in the cart, and the cart's gonna move, and it's gonna make it look like you're on the cart. And then just try to sneak into a nice little position, right? Moments like these are moments where you can put yourself in places where people won't expect you to make big plays. So for example, right click on cart, sneak up here, right? You can walk over here, right? Stay invisible, right? Right before you can drop down and sneak up on somebody, right? Just make sure you have a clone to get away to, which could be the cart, which could be one up here, right? You can put one, you can use the cart, throw one up here just for safety, and you can drop on somebody, try to get a pick, and then teleport out, right? Just plays like that, plays like that, plays like that. It's hmm. You're so worried about you surviving that you let your teammates die. I would have just thrown clones around, and I would have just like so for like my front line, and then I would have just wherever my other support goes, I'm just following them because you can't trust people to be smart enough to make the right decision. I'm not calling that person dumb, but just in general, especially if you're not communicating, you can't expect them to make the right choice. So make it for them and follow them. So then when the storm does pop her ult on them, you can immo field your teammate, which is gonna, as long as the rune doesn't die, it'll keep y'all alive, and then y'all can heal each other, right? So y'all can survive that ultimate. But if you just assume they're gonna run to you, they're probably not going to. Okay, as we're coming back here, we have Lokio, we don't have Su ult, um, and our Moon Knight has ult. If you're in comms, you can communicate with Moon Knight. Hey, I'm gonna copy the group, and we can combo, right? And that's a nice combo, right? So that's something you can look for if you want to. If not, you can copy Sue and just pop Sue out. You choose a safe route. Ooh, unforked. As you see, you died as you placed it, so you went goodbye. Just gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. Put a little closer. Don't be as exposed, right? But that's unfortunate. I don't think what you were trying to do was a bad idea, just bad execution. Just gotta make sure that you are playing a little safer. There we have 30 seconds. Moon Knight almost has ult. Same thing. I mean, I'm really. Oh, big ult. Don't die. Don't die to the group, please. Okay, so now your Su needs ult charge, so hopefully your team takes a little bit of damage so she can pop, she can build it. Unfortunately, you popped your MO field when she pops her Su ult, but yeah, really sucky. You gotta stay in the ult, man. Why are we backing up? I gotta go back because I'm really not comprehending why we're backing up here. We have Su ult. And then we're leaving the... Come on, man. Yeah, that's not good. Can't die there. Cannot die there. But I'm assuming y'all get the... Oh, no heals. Uh-oh, that's not good. Y'all get it, though? Alright. Nice, 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 nice. So going into the second half, I just want to say I definitely want to see you be more proactive with taking ults. Don't be afraid to take offensive ults as well, not only just defensive ults. Even though you're using them offensively, you could get team wipes with a group Moon Knight combo, right? And if you have a Moon Knight, why not take advantage of it? And then just also, I really want to see you take more advantage of the fact that you can go invisible, right? In moments of downtime, just reposition, put yourself in a spot where maybe you can blow somebody up, right? Or get them low enough for your DPS to have an easy pick, right? Like I think people really underestimate how much healing and damage Loki does. And maybe just supports in general, but I definitely feel like Loki's super underrated. All right, so how are we gonna play this? Me personally, I'm weird. I like to play high ground. Obviously, it makes hitting AOE shots easier. There's a few positions you can play from, but it really just depends on your teammates. Some of the ones I like to play from, if I feel like they have, if I know that they have like really pokey DPS, and I just don't even want to be in the line of sight. Sometimes I'll play up here, and I'll just keep my teammates safe. This whole building, except from this line back, is breakable. So if they're here, I can heal them normally. If they're up here, I can kind of heal them. But I like to either play like here, or sometimes I'll even play up here, depending on how it is. Or I'll just put clones up here to have them. And maybe I can even play behind this pillar, or just behind like a corner like this. But wherever you feel safe. But I definitely like to put, at least put clones up here too, just for the extra damage. Maybe like a clone. You could even do a play, right? Where if you get here early enough, put yourself up there, right? Put a clone somewhere safe that you know you can get out, and just look for like chip damage right here. Boom, 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 boom on a support, and then get out. So I don't like you staying in the open. Yeah. I'm okay with you taking shots here and there, but don't be jumping in the open. I copied the cloak. Hmm. Yeah, I would have copied her earlier for one. I know you definitely in the message said you mistook the Scarlet for the Cloak and Dagger, which is very unfortunate, very unfortunate. But you know, can't be making mistakes like that. It's not a good mistake, especially at your rank. Not to say I'm perfect, not to say I don't make mistakes. I do, me too. So I sympathize with you. But obviously, we're trying to get better. So you got to just make sure you're grabbing the right person. And I mean, is your other support? Your other support is behind you still, so you could still technically grab somebody else. That was a risky grab. And you made the wrong grab. And when I say risky, I don't mean risky in the sense of it was like bad, but more so the fact that you were in the middle of a fight. I'd honestly shoot the building to my right when I get a chance, just so I can have that ramp to go up, and also just have the visual of that top right side. Not a big fan of not knowing what's up there. Brutal? No? Oh, I like that response to that. Oh, I like the response to that. Damn. I know this ain't about your freaking Scarlet, but that was a good counter roll. That was a good counter roll. Get in my field. Even though that was a good ammo field, it ended up not being needed. So I would just say try to be aware of who gets grabbed. And if your shield tank is there and can eat the damage and not break, lose his shield for it, don't ammo field, because in a moment like this, you could have probably did it, maybe saved a life. This is nitpicking, but at our rank, right, we're in Grandmaster here. We got to be a little nitpicky. We got to make sure that we're identifying little things that you can min max, right? Not saying that that's going to make or break the game, but just something to keep in mind, something to think about. Do I have to MO field here? Yes. Okay. Right. I'm glad you did it, but with the power of hindsight, we know that we probably didn't have to do it. Oh, heal her. Oh, thank goodness she didn't die. The Ashanti's power. They can't see nothing. A lot of times you're using an MO field for no reason. To make sure everything we do has a purpose. Ooh. Ay, ay, ay. You can kill through that. To the notes, we go. Alrighty, so the notes for today, right? Number one, you can copy other ults other than defensive ults, right? The fact that you were constantly copying your other support's ult isn't bad. That's fine. But let's think about it this way, right? If you can guarantee your team will stay alive, right, for that whole duration of the ult, that's cool. That's good. But you can't guarantee that you'll get any eliminations. Versus if you copy the enemy group to combo ults with your Moon Knight, now you're putting your team in a position to where instead of just living longer and hoping you win the fight with that, you can actively use an ultimate that can aggressively push you into that direction where if you hit the Grudo and they hit the Moon Knight ult, they're probably going bye-bye, right? So yeah, don't be afraid to look for other combinations other than just using the normal defensive ults. Number two, using Invis in downtime so you can look for aggro plays or force out cooldowns, then escape, right? So I've already explained it. You know, in times of when you're not really doing anything, when enemy can't see you, hop on the cart, press right click. Now you're closing the cart. Then you might just think that's you on the cart. Then you never know. Get into a sneaky position with a clone that's in a place where you can get out and look to make a play. If you can make the play, you make the play and get out. If you can't, you force a cooldown. Who knows? But little things like that are what's going to separate a good Loki from a great Loki, right? Being able to use your kit to the maximum potential, not only being able just to be a great healer, but a great support and a dangerous support at the same time. Because as you get better and better, sometimes you're going to have to do more and more to win those games. And as a support, yeah, your ults are strong, but you probably know that you can't really hard carry games, but you can if you play in a way that you're doing more than just supporting the team with your utility, but looking for aggressive plays, looking for picks, right? Obviously there's a good balance, there's a good, middle ground, but Supports that are under, that are probably GM and under, maybe even into Celestial, they're smart. They have good game sense. They have good ult usage, right? When they're in GM Celestial, but they're not min maxing their kits. And if you can figure out how to do that, it'll be a really nasty support. And then be more patient with your immortality field. Not every dangerous situation requires that cooldown, right? A great example is the Groot hits an ult, but your Strange puts up a shield. And what did they have? They had a Hela and a Storm. They're not breaking that shield, man. And if they do, wait till it breaks and then pop immortality field because you now know you need it. Don't always pop it when it looks like a dangerous situation. I know that's a habit that can seem good because you're saving people initially, but better players will just force that out, right? And they'll wait, and then after that runs out, then they're gonna go in with ults, and now you have no way to counter an ult with your ability. Which it's better to counter an ult with that ability than it is to just counter a sketchy situation. Now, obviously, use your best judgment. Sometimes you got to keep somebody alive. Can't blame you for that, especially if you have your ult, so you can use that way and then use your ult to respond. But yeah, just like I said, we're trying to min max here. We're trying to help you get as good as you can. With that being said, if anybody else would like a VOD review from yours truly, I will have a link down below in the description that will link you to my Discord where you can submit a VOD in the VOD review submission channel. If anybody you know also wants to do it, hey, you know where to send them. But without further ado, hopefully you guys and gals learned something today. Hopefully you enjoyed watching the video as much as I enjoy making these videos. And without further ado, I will see you in the next one. Take care.